to question 5, the halfway mark. Question 5, the graphs of g and g minus 1, which is the inverse of g. So the graph of gx and the inverse of gx are shown in the diagram below. D and B are the x and y intercepts of g. C is the x-intercept of the inverse of g. The graphs of g and the inverse of g intersected A. Write down the y-coordinate of B. And I could simply tell you that the answer is 0 and 6. But before I do that, let's explain how I get there. So here's the graph, gx equal to 2x plus 6. And how I could tell you it was 0 and 6 is because that tells us where that intercepts on the y-intercept. So if we want to find out what y is, we make x 0. So it'll be 2 times 0 plus 6, y equals 6. Therefore, B, the coordinate of B is x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 6. Question 5.2. Determine the equation of the inverse of g in the form of inverse of gx equal to mx plus n. What we need to do is we need to take the original function gx equal to 2x plus 6. And then what we need to do is we need to swap x and y because it's the inverse. So we get y equals 2x plus 6. Swap x and y. You'll have x equals 2y plus 6. Bring 2y across. Plus 6. And then let's make it all positive. Y will equal x minus 6 over 2. That will mean that y is equal to a half x minus 6 over 2. 2 goes in itself once, goes in there 3 times, so minus 3. Therefore, g minus 1x is equal to half x minus 3. Question 5.3. Determine the coordinate of A. And if you look carefully, it's where graph G and the inverse of G intersect, which means that at that point, Gx is equal to the inverse of Gx. And what does that mean? That means 2x plus 6 is equal to half of x minus 3. Now it's simply a case of working out and then substituting. So 2x minus half x equals minus 3 minus 6. That'll equal 4 minus 1 over 2x, which equals minus 9. And that'll equal 3 over 2x equal to minus 9. X equals minus 9 over 3 over 2. Therefore, x equals minus 6. If x is equal to minus 6, we have to then substitute minus 6 in to get y. Y will equal 2. Substitute the minus 6 into x plus 6. Y will equal minus 6. Therefore, this point here is equal to x is minus 6 and y is minus 6. Let's just write it up over here. A is minus 6 and minus 6. Question 5.4. Calculate the length of AB. And basically we have to use the formula of the length of a line, which is AB equals to the square root of, and then we'll have x of B minus x of A squared plus y of B minus y of A. And that's squared. That'll equal the square root of, let's do that, 0 minus 6 squared plus 6 minus 6. This will equal the square root of 180. Therefore, AB is equal to 13,42. 5.5. Calculate the area of a triangle ABC. And the first thing that comes to mind is, well, what's the formula of a triangle? The formula is half base times height. Now, we don't have a base and we don't have a height. So where do we start? We start with calculating the value of C. Now, we know that in GX, B is equal to 0 and 6. Therefore, because Gx has the inverse, which is the G minus 1, we switch the x and the y values. And we can therefore say that the C coordinate is 6 and 0. So I'm just going to add over here 6 and 0. Now that we have that, let's calculate the midpoint of BC. And the midpoint would be, let's call it, somewhere over here is a midpoint. Let's call that T. So it'll be the midpoint of the value xt and yt and that will equal xb plus xc over 2, and then we'll have yb plus yc over 2. And now we basically just fill in the coordinates. So the midpoint is, or what's xb? It's 0. So you can see what's xc, that is 6, that is over 2. Yb is 6 and yc is 0. That'll equal, the midpoint would equal 6 over 2, which is 3, and 6 over 2, which is 3. Therefore, this value over here is 3 and 3. And then what I'll do here is I'll just put your midpoint is 3 and 3. So what does that mean? That means if we draw the height down here, we hit the midpoint, that'll be a right angle. Let's find the base. Let's go with the base. So BC, which equals the base, which equals the square root, and now we just do the formula. We go x of b minus x of c squared plus y of b minus y of c squared. That'll equal 0 minus 6, square that, plus 6 minus 0, and we'll square that. That comes to the square root of 72. Therefore, the base, or BC, the base, is equal to 8,485,28,1374. And I wrote it out like that because we're going to use it again. I want to be as accurate as possible. So basically, the base equals 8,485. Let's leave it like that. So the base is equal to 8,485. Now, let's have a look at the height. The height is equal to AT. So AT equals the height, which is equal to, once again, we're going to work out the length. It'll be x of t minus x of a squared plus y of t minus y of a squared. That'll equal, we'll have 3, that's x, that's the value of tx, minus 6 squared, plus the y of t is 3, the y of a is minus 6 squared. If you work that out, it'll come to the square root of 162. Therefore, AT, which is the height, equals 12,7292206. So let's write the height out over here. It is 12,729. After having worked all of that out, we can now go, the area is equal to half. What's the base? The base is 8,485. And then I wrote it down, 52,81374. Multiply that by the height, which is equal to 12,729. And then that also goes on to 92206. And when you work it out, there are 54 units squared. The area of the triangle is equal to, let me put this here, area of triangle, and let me not, therefore, the area of the triangle is equal to 54 units squared. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, please drop your question in the questions below. We'll read and respond as soon as possible. If you need more help with math, please click the link below that goes to my channel and go view what we have available there.